Hello, 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 everyone. Hello. I don't know if I should say welcome back. I mean, you guys weren't the ones that were gone forever. I am so sorry that I have only made one video this year. I absolutely have put out one video for 2025 and we are already in April. Um, this video is just a quick update, things that are going on, things that I'm doing, what has been going on. Am I ever going to do anything else on this channel? And the answer to that is yes. Okay. This whole entire video was not planned. I cannot make this up. I literally just walked through my front door 10 minutes ago. Like, I just got off of work, okay? And so it's like 7 something, I think. I ain't even got to watch on Central Time. I was just like, okay, you know what, Cheyenne? Before you take off clothes, anything, just hurry up and just do something really, really quick. I mean, see, that's how much I care for y'all. Like, I am starving and I really need to be eating dinner so that I'm not eating late. But nevertheless, so I'm just making this video. First of all, it was so important to return to do something to give you guys an update. Number one, for my old subscribers, because there was starting to become like quite a few people that was emailing me, texting me. And for those of the subscribers who don't have my email address, or they don't have my phone number, people were starting to get desperate and they literally was just like, let me just see whatever the last video she recorded, leave a comment and then she'll reply, you know. And then I have subscribers who have my email address and they were shooting out emails and leaving comments, and I was just like, I know. So we're going to also do this for the sake of new subscribers, because you know, my channel isn't growing as fast as it could be. There's no way that I should be at the number of subscribers that I'm at, being that I started this channel, I think, May 2021. And, you know, as most of my old subscribers know, you guys know that I don't really strive anymore to be monetized. I don't strive for some high subscriber numbers because I can't. As you can see, like I just said, I work 40 plus hours a week. I do not have the energy. And with every year that I turn a certain age, you know, it's becoming more and more clear my time is more precious to me. And not saying that you guys are not. You absolutely are. However, I have to accept the fact, the reality that, hey, I already work a lot. The last thing I want to do is come home, you know, after looking at computer monitors and being on Zoom calls and virtual meetings all day long. I don't want to have to come and set up more technology, record, especially if I'm doing a tutorial, and then sit in front of a computer for another, I don't know, 4 hours editing. Because you guys know I take editing very seriously when I am doing a production type video, not one of these videos, because I'm not editing this. I don't care what it comes out look like. I hope I don't have spinach in my teeth or a bat in a cave. Y'all know what a bat in a cave is? It's a booger. You know what? Speaking of, I might have an eye booger. Anyway, yeah, so basically this video was also for the new subscribers that have been subscribing, because I want them to understand that, you know, I give this speech every so often to remind people that the reason why you don't see me like you will see other content creators is because, no offense, most of the other content creators that you are probably subscribed to, they don't work like the 40 hours that I work. They might work 40 hours at their channel, but they're not going to a job. They got to get in the car and drive and put up with, you know, gridlock type traffic and then come back home and then, you know, try to create. So anyway, nevertheless, so here I am real quick. So let me see. The last and the only video that I put out for 2025 was when I came home and What did I say? Oh, and I was talking about, this is the reason why you should have, so much yarn, or you should buy yarn according to the pattern. There was supposed to be plenty of other videos, but life happened. So let's see. After that, my hours began to increase, and then, I still work at the same job. I never told you guys what company I work for, because I like to vent sometimes to you guys, and I do have some people from work, corporate headquarters, and then out in the fields that is subscribed to this channel. So I can't put my job's name out there, but you all know that job gets on my nerves, and it still gets on my nerves. It just literally gets on my nerves. Nevertheless, I am still crocheting. And as you can see behind me, that is my other craft table. There's currently a diamond art on there. I am doing a betta fish diamond art. So some of the, okay, there you go. Y'all didn't know this happened. So do y'all remember when Ruby passed and I was so devastated, and I told y'all I can't be without a pet, but I wasn't ready to get another pet. So I ended up starting, the betta fish family. The very first betta was Captain America. Do you remember him? He was red, white, and blue. Well, one of the things you guys did not know was that the last, quote, ice storm that Texas had, and it wasn't really anything major. It was like a day and a half, and that was back in January. Captain America had gained a disease that is known to a lot of fish, especially in bettas, called dropsy. And basically it's a tumor of some sort that usually people will mix up, like this tumor or versus a fish like a betta getting bloated. But he had dropsy, and I was doing everything. I made a hospital tank and I tried to save him. Long story short, during that ice storm, I remember thinking to myself, this fish is not going to make it. And I am stuck at home and I don't know what to do. And I literally was calling around to vets like, hey, do you treat fish or whatever? But everybody was closed because of the ice storm. And I was put in a very nasty situation. I know you guys are probably like, Shani, it's a fish, but y'all know how I feel about pets. And he was my comfort because Ruby had passed. And I know it sounds crazy, y'all. I had never had a fish of my own, but that fish had a lot of personality and a lot of character. I mean, he saved me from, helped stop the grieving, really, for Ruby. And he was dying, and I knew the right thing to do. And I remember, a couple of friends was just like, oh, so you just gonna let him die and then flush him down the toilet? No, I'm not flushing the fish down the toilet. I know y'all probably think I'm crazy, but I literally was calling around, leaving messages with veterinarians that was closed due to the weather. And I was just like, hey, I need somebody to call me back because I think this fish is dying. I need help. But he didn't make it. And someone, my best friend, she must have went and Googled how to euthanize a fish. I had to euthanize my own pet. It's one thing to take your pet to get put down, but when you yourself have to do it, and only people that probably can relate to what I'm talking about is people who have farms with farm animals, and they literally have to put down their own pets or, farm animals. And I had to euthanize them. I had to go and I had to go out into the storm, buy clove oil, and then it was just, I know y'all probably like, Shine was a fish, but I'm gonna tell y'all this again. I am so sincere in how I feel, and I'm passionate about all God's creatures, big and small. I'm so sincere about that. I cried, but it was like the right thing to do. Now, there is a bright side to this. So behind me, as you can see, I have some plants, and I could not bring myself to flush Captain America down the toilet after I euthanize him, because you pour a couple of drops of clove oil, if any of you guys know about this, and basically I took him out of his tank, put him in a smaller, like a little plastic bowl, just, with a little bit of water. He couldn't even, the tumor was so heavy, he couldn't even lift his head to catch air. That's why I had to put him down. So you do a couple of drops of clove oil, and basically clove oil to, betta fish and maybe some other, like aquarium tank fish. Basically, it's almost like our version of lethal injection. Well, in a way, it literally shuts down their system. They basically fall into a sleep. It is supposed to be painless. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a fish, and I watched him, and this fish wouldn't die. I was just like, wait, am I not putting enough drops in there? But I mean, basically, it was the right thing to do because he had lost that beautiful red, white, and colored. If I put a picture up there, it was devastating to watch this fish basically just die. And I hadn't even had him for a year. Ruby's anniversary, her death anniversary is coming up this Friday. April 11th is when I had to put her down. So anyway, that's what happened with Captain America. I did buy another fish. I'm up to 4 betta fish. There was Flash that you guys met in one of the videos. He's all red. Wolverine, yellow and blue. I have Captain Atom. Oh yeah, you guys really didn't know much about. Oh, y'all didn't know about Captain Atom. Captain Atom is silver and reddish, which if you know anything about comic books, Captain Atom he's supposed to be a hero, but he's like half hero, half villain. And the latest fish, and I will do like a little short video so y'all can see these colors. The latest betta, his name is Mr. Freeze. If you know anything about Mr. Freeze in the comic books, y'all know that he's a villain. So I needed another villain. So you know what? It just dawned on me that I didn't even finish telling y'all what was going on with the plants. That's how crazy I am, because I just got off of work and I'm trying to make this video real quick so y'all don't think that I'm ghosting y'all. Boom, back to this plant. This one right here, the ivy. That's a Pixie Dixie ivy. Okay, so anyway, I was just like, I'm not flushing Camp down the toilet, right? And I literally went online, went to like the betta fish farm, and people was like, hey, do people cremate fish? And then, other people was just like, I couldn't cremate my fish. Somebody said that they made like a little boat behind their house. Like they have a creek behind their house and they made like a little paper boat and a sail and put the fish in there and pushed it down the creek. But I started thinking about that because we have creeks where I live, and I was thinking, no, because I would be devastated if I put Cap in a boat and send him down the creek and then I see a hawk scoop down or a cardinal or something, just scoop them up for breakfast. I said, no, that ain't gonna work. So he is buried in that Pixie Dixie. Now, for those of you, if you have fish and you're just like, Cheyenne, yeah, but ew, when he starts to decay, isn't he want to stink? No. You have to remember the betta fish are really not that big. You're just thinking they're super big because of their fins, Their actual body is usually anywhere is from like 2 to 3 inches. A big betta fish might be 3.5. So Cap was around 2 inches. And then remember, he was sick, so he kind of like had a little bit of shrinkage there. So if you take away his fins, he really was like about 2 inches or whatever. And you need to make sure that you bury the fish. It's kind of like burying humans. Like, we're not going to just bury like a shallow grave and then everybody's walking around, the air stinking. No, you gotta put them down up in there. And so with that being said, planting him, you should have seen this plant and it's the ivy one, how small it was. And I promise you, Cap is doing his thing. He is very much still alive in my heart because the nutrients from his body, this Pixie Dixie, which is a European ivy, is thriving, like thriving, And by the time it's ready for me to repot, God willing, Cap's little body should be decomposed. Because I tell y'all right now, if I have to replant that pot and I see some remains that I don't want to see, I will be making another video boo-hooing, snot, and crying all over the place. Anyway, I know that was a long story about the betta fish, but y'all haven't seen me in a while, so y'all really don't care. Anyway, so that happened. That was in January. Then my birthday was in January. It was January 29th. Let me tell y'all something. That birthday was pitiful. Oh, and I shouldn't say it like that because it's really a blessing when you can make it to your birthday. You know, it is. I mean, I am now 54, you know, and I was just like, yeah, I made it to 54. But because my birthday was smack dead in the middle, don't y'all hate hump day birthdays? You probably don't care about a hump day birthday if you don't work and you're retired. But for me, I never work on my birthday. So I worked Monday and Tuesday, and then I took off on Wednesday. And to make matters worse, it was the most miserable weather ever. Like, it was super duper cold. I was depressed. I think this is leading up to my family trying to call. Like, there was quite a few family members that tried to reach out. Some of my family members, extended family members, who they just remember me as a child, but they don't really know me as an adult other than watching me on the video from time to time, you know, calling them. What they don't know is that I have, and I still do, suffer from depression. I do. I'm not bipolar. I am clinically depressed. It has been diagnosed. And it can come in spurts. And it was a depressing birthday. Thank God I spent most of my birthday kind of like texting back and forth with my best friend. She's the only person that I feel comfortable when I do fall prey to my depression. I don't get depressed because I turned a year older. Like, I don't care about age. This is just a number. I know I feel youthful. I can't help it. I may not look youthful, but I feel it. So age, turning older doesn't bother me. I don't know if it was the weather, because I actually like gray, rainy weather, but something wasn't right that day. So I spent my whole entire 54th birthday sleeping and watching documentaries on Netflix. Man, let me tell y'all, that is my new go-to. Watching documentaries on Netflix. People are freaking crazy out there in this world. Like, I want to run down some of the Netflix documentaries, and y'all feel free to check them out. Maybe I should put them in the link. I don't even know if I'm able to do that anymore, because I lost a lot of my perks and privileges as a content creator, because I don't make anything. I think they can just snag the bag. But anyway, if you guys need or are into documentaries and you like to look at Netflix, man, look at Dance for the Devil. And for those of my subscribers who are Christian believers, it is not like that. It's Dance for the Devil is about, like, it's basically about, like, these dancers, these young kids that you see on YouTube shorts and TikToks. And this guy is basically running a cult. He's running a cult. It is on Netflix, and actually he goes to trial this September. True statement. Yeah, there's another one called Sweet Bobby, where this woman got catfished for 9 years. Who the hell is getting catfished for 9 years? Matter of fact, why are you even being catfished for over a year? Catfish for 9 years. Such a sad and pathetic story. Yup. And then I watched this other documentary. This one is on Prime Video. It's called Chiefaholics. So if you're a Chiefs football fan, you gotta watch this. That thing was insane. And it's based on a true story. This man would be on his way. He would drive to every Chiefs game. But before he would get to the Chiefs game, because he was such a fanatic super fan, he robbed a bank. This is what I'm talking about. This is a real story, life stories, yup. And then what else did I watch? Ooh, they got a new documentary called C-O-N, Mum. Like, you know, the British call their moms mum. Just watched it last night. Barely could stay awake. Was in bed by 7:30, but you gotta watch that. Oh my God, some of these documentaries are awful. Yeah, so anyway, that's how I spent my birthday. So there was nothing right home, you know, about whatever. And then, okay, so that's January. Anything happen in February? No, not really, except for work. And my poor cousin, April, it's not that I'll be ignoring you. Like, when I come home, the last thing I want to do is be on the phone, and my phone actually gets turned off on itself by itself. I have it scheduled to take no text messages, no phone calls for a certain amount of time because I am on the phone 95% of the day. So just, that's a disclaimer. There we go. All right, so let's just get past February. Who knows what the hell happened in February? March, working. Oh, here we go, folks. Let's just bring y'all up to speed. So, someone that I work with in my office had COVID. Basically, their husband at home had COVID. That fool comes to work knowing that they was exposed, right? Comes directly to my desk. And the lady that sits in front of me, and she's like, my husband got pneumonia. But she didn't tell us why her husband had pneumonia. So we're just thinking like, okay, he has pneumonia, right? Okay, this is on a Monday. The lady comes in on Tuesday, comes right to our desk. And to make matters worse, bought in donuts. We're all standing around, me, the lady sitting in front of me, and two other team members just gobbling down donuts, okay? And if my dad is looking at this, and he'll be like, Shine, didn't I tell you to cut out the sweets? I had one donut, but that donut was almost a deadly donut, okay? That lady had been around us, right? Wednesday, I'm working from home, right? So while I'm sitting here on a conference call in the comforts of my own home, before lunchtime, I started doing like, my throat feel funny. By 1 o'clock, I said, I feel achy. And I'm messaging the other lady sitting in front of me. I'm like, hey, you know, we're all working from home. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to make it through the day, even though I'm home. I'm feeling real weird. Man, by the time the end of the day, I think it was like 4 o'clock. It was good enough. I was just like, I'm signing off for the day. I got in the bed. Man, when I tell y'all that my bed was like a river. I've sweated before, but I had never sweat to the point of a comforter being soaking wet. Basically, I had gained the fever overnight, and when I woke up, I had this fever. And so in my mind, it was just weird because I was just like, this doesn't feel like a flu, but you know, I didn't think anything of it. Now that's Thursday. And then all throughout the day, like I was just really, really tired. And then all of a sudden I told my best friend, I'm texting her, and she at the same time with my male best friend, both of them are texting me like, hey, did you test yourself? And I'm like, damn. And I have like a ton of COVID tests, you know? So I was just like, man, it's going to read negative. Because up until this point, folks, 2025, Pinky Hooks had never had COVID. If y'all don't know, one of the things that I was trying to accomplish, I was so proud of myself because I was just like, you know what? I'm going for the record. I'm going to make sure I leave this earth and return back to my heavenly Father and be like, guess what I didn't get? I didn't get COVID. And sure enough, I mean, the test is supposed to take 15 minutes. I swabbled I didn't even have to stick it that far up there. I think I went right here with so much, I ain't trying to gross out, so much snot and mucus. I basically went like right there. It was just a glob. I was like, ugh. And I did the other one. I don't know why. And man, I did the little test within less than 2 minutes. Bing, positive. And I was just like, what is that? Like, I was in shock, y'all. I was just like, and if y'all are sitting there like, you know, Pinky, what's the problem? Everybody had COVID. No, everybody did not have COVID. My dad still hasn't gotten it by the grace of God, you know, not sure, you know, like people in my family got it, but my dad didn't get it. So me and my dad was like, yay, we're Novits. And if you don't know what a Novit is, Google it. N as in Nancy, O, V as in Victor, I, D as in dog. And that's how I talk on the phone every day at work. So I have a habit of spelling out the word. But anyway, Novits are actually the scientific name that the doctors have given for people who have not contracted it. So I was just like, yay, daddy, we're Novits. But yet that one lady who decided to come into work, she was like a sniper. She took out the whole team with one shot. So it was a team of 5. I retract that statement. Team of 5 people. Only one person didn't get it. Everybody else got it. And I was thinking to myself, you put your little funky behind, and I said funky, y'all. Funky behind into work, knowing that you were exposed. And I don't want to hear like, oh, well, you know, Cheyenne, she said her husband. You sleep in the bed with that man. What made you think that you wasn't going to get it? And then you brought it in here? And stay behind at home. And I'm mad about that. Now I'm about to be mad. And this is a serious kind of man. If you're thinking like, Pinky, calm down. No. I have a pet peeve about people coming to work knowing doggone well that they're sick. I got a problem with that. Be responsible. First of all, it's inconsiderate to other human beings, okay? Because now we're getting older, and I don't work with a whole bunch of spring chickens. I think we got 20-something people on our team, like 20-something years old. Everybody else is like grandmom and second great grandmom generation, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that means that our bodies, once you get to a certain age, right? And most of my subscribers are pretty much my age and older. When you get to a certain age, you know, even in your best health, your body does not bounce back the way it did when we was bebopping around from 18 and in our 20s. It's just the way it is. Okay? And I'm, for the most part, outside of weight, I am pretty much a healthy person by the grace of God. I don't have diabetes. I don't have high cholesterol. I don't have high blood pressure, right? By the grace. You know, so therefore I'm still kind of like considered to be a rather healthy person. You know, I do all my little mammograms, colonoscopies, all that kind of stuff. Everything so far has been coming back pretty good. And then my body for some reason was just like, you know, okay, well, this time you're going to get it. I mean, yeah, the good side is that by getting it right, I am immune for this strand for, you know, a year. And also my body is now being able, since it's been exposed to it, it can build the what is that, the antibodies or whatever y'all call that. I don't really care about that part. I care about the fact that they broke my record. I was sad. I don't know if I was more sad because I was just like, Shani, you just contracted a serious virus, or the fact that my record was broke. I mean, it's 2025. The pandemic started in 2020, and really the virus started in 2019. It just hadn't made it over here to the United States. You know? Ugh. I was mad with that lady. And then, here's the kicker. Okay, y'all really want to know what my frustration is? So now, not only did I get the COVID, okay, I call out that Thursday. I don't work from home. I'm like, I'm sick. I got COVID, you know, and I went right to the clinic and was just like, hey, I just did a home test. And they was just like, nope. I took the test in. It was like, you got COVID, right? So the doctor was just like, the main concern is to make sure that you don't get the fever, you know, like get rid of the fever. And then you're just going to ride it out, you know, being in quarantine or whatever. So I called out that Thursday, called out that Friday, called out the following Monday. According to the doctor's note, they were saying that, you know, I could return to work that following Tuesday, which was, I think, on the 21st. Well, something says, Shania, before you go back to the office, just test. So Monday night, I tested. That thing came up positive immediately, because what the note says is that, yeah, you know, if you don't have a fever after 24 hours, you know, you can kind of go back in the population. Let me tell you something. I don't care what the hell the CDC said. You know, the CDC is saying, yeah, go back in the population, but the test was still saying positive. And I took another one just to make sure it wasn't a faulty test. It was like positive, stop testing. You are still positive. Why? Because some people are still positive. You're pretty much positive up to 14 days. So I had to call and let my manager know, like, hey, I'm still positive. I'm not returning to the office. However, I'm strong enough where I can sit at home and work. And that turned into a fiasco. They tried to tell me and the other lady, who is a little bit older than me, she was still testing positive. Neither one of us was just like, look, we are going to be responsible. We're not going to be like the sniper that took out the whole team and come in knowing that we're positive, right? And my job's response is just wear a mask. Wear a mask. That's what you want us to do, is wear a mask. And knowing that we're still contagious. Are you crazy? I'm not, no. And then I know there's people on team with pre-existing conditions. Man, this lady harassed me like no other. All I know is she kept texting us. She tried to say, fine, you can't work from home. If you can't come into the office, you can't work from home. You have to use PTO. Baby, if you want me to use the PTO, fine. So what? I'm telling you, Shania Lancaster, will not be back in that office. I don't care what you say. And she was trying to use all these tactics to make us feel guilty. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, do what you want to do. I mean, come on now. This is the reason why I'm about to go on a tangent, or I've already been there. So let me just extend the tangent a little bit further so y'all can understand why I'm so mad. See, this is what I'm talking about. Corporate, forget about corporate. Jobs nowadays don't have the interest, the best interest of their employees. They don't care. They don't care. All she was concerned about was me, a body, being in the office. And then her response was, it's just, like, Cheyenne, okay, everybody's had COVID. No, sweetie, everybody has not had COVID. Didn't I just tell you this is my first time having it? So, nevertheless, that little tactic of hers didn't work. So, as a punishment, this is what she said, because she got mad. Because it wasn't just me, it was on somebody else. And she said, fine, if y'all don't come in, be prepared that when y'all do return to the office the following week, y'all can't work from home any of the weeks. So that was last week. So you know what, sweetie, if you think you're punishing me, no problem. I got all dressed up and broke out my best mask, matching mask for my outfits. And I walked right up on in there, when the doctor said that I could return, because when I got retested and I was still positive, I went back to urgent care and he extended it. That's what happened. And she didn't like it. She didn't like it. I don't care what you like. You getting on me about working from home. What you should have been doing is getting on that employee who knew they had COVID and came in there. That's like somebody who came in with pink eye. Freaking crazy. If y'all know how you get pink eye, that's kind of gross. All right, that episode is over. But let me tell y'all something. I was miserable. I did not like it. Of course, nobody likes being sick, but by the grace of God, again, you see what I'm saying? Like, I had to stop being mad about it, because I actually had to find the blessing in me getting COVID. And here's the blessing, folks. If you don't know, even if you don't believe in God, but I'm just saying as my own testimony, it was a good thing that I got it when I got it. Because I started thinking, Cheyenne, yes, you're mad because you got this, but you could have gotten it when it first all started. Y'all remember them bodies in the meat trucks and all that kind of stuff in New York, when it was like, it was taking people out. And I'm not saying that COVID isn't still serious. It absolutely is, just as the flu is still serious. But what I'm saying is yes, I did lose taste. I couldn't taste anything for at least almost 3 weeks. I couldn't, my smell, oh my God, even soap, everything that pleasant smells was making me wanting to throw up. So I was not eating. Only thing my diet consisted of was water and Gatorade. Yup, sure enough. And, I was fine with breathing. I did not have shortness of breath as far as like, oh my God, I can't breathe. But I did have problems trying to start exercising again. Like, I could start exercising, like doing aerobics for 2 minutes, and it felt like I had been working out for 40 minutes. I was just like, what the freak is this? Yeah, so I was mad. And then when I did return to work, the little idiot, the sniper that gave it to us all, had the nerve to come over and by this time now we're going into April, and she gonna make a joke talking about some April Fools. She's just like, April Fools, I heard that Shy gave it to everybody. Man, it was so important to her future that she got away from my desk and not finished that damn sentence because she thought it was funny. And she felt as though like the thing that came out of her mouth was, what's the big deal? Why is, Shy so mad? Everybody got COVID. Like, it's no big deal anymore. You see what I'm saying? Inconsiderate. And freaking considerate. Yeah, so that happened. So I'm just recovering from that. And I know y'all were like, damn, well, you couldn't have had COVID because you have not. You got your breath. You talking about. I don't care. Anyway. So, yeah. So, now on the other things. Ooh, y'all want to, let me see. How long has this been going? Oh, yeah. Y'all haven't seen me in a while. So, y'all okay for a long video. Y'all want to talk about Joann's? Ooh. Oh, my God. Okay. So, yes, we all know that Joann's is closed. But you know what, y'all? Before I caught COVID, of course, right? So, this was a while back. Like a month. I decided to go to Joann's, and I actually had a little bit of video footage of going in, but man, I couldn't even make the video. Let me tell you something. By the time I got to Joann's, to one of my Joann's here in Texas, there was no yarn. Like, y'all remember that video that I made last year when I was just like, hey folks, I think I know where all the yarn is, and it was this massive amount of yarn. Man, that same store, you would have never in a million years thought that was the same store. You would have thought that I just took you to some back store alleyway, like back alleyway store, It was nothing. The only yarn that they had was is like the real extra thick, chunky blanket yarn, like the extra thick. I got a lot of blanket yarn, but not that one. I never bought that one. That's all they had left. Then I just started walking around the store. I mean, they had a little bit of scrubby yarn. They had a little bit of cotton yarns, the ones you make like dish towels and stuff like that. And they had a whole bunch. They still had plenty of thread, because I still crochet with thread. And they had the loops. When I made my Christmas rug, yeah, they had plenty of that. So that's pretty much what I got. That's what I got. Matter of fact, let me show y'all real quick. Hold on. Don't stop it. Just pause it. Okay. I had to go get it. So if you went to Joann's, right? I don't know if everybody's Joann's did it, but they was doing what they called a yarn snake. So they was running out of bags. So they had to use these long bags, and they would make a snake. They pack all your yarn. And this is what I got. This is my very last purchase from Joann's, and this is the end of an era. So here it is. Like, it's just one long bag, and then they would tie a knot, and it's a handle. And so it looks like a lot, but it's actually not. It's 3 skeins of the loop yarn and then a whole bunch of scrubby yarn, And I have not opened it yet, as y'all can see. And so this is it. I haven't opened it yet because it's very sentimental. Yeah. Let me put this down here for a minute. I felt like a vulture in there. It was not, the feelings that I felt was not what I expected. I literally was going in aisles where there was nobody to cry because now I get how probably the older generation felt like when Woolworths just shut down, because you realize that this is truly the end of an era. And so with that being said, I grabbed whatever I could, because I grabbed 3 of the loop yarns. I plan on making my godchild a rug for her bathroom. And then because pretty much while I've been away from you guys, I don't know what the hell's going on. I've been on a scrubby, I'm like a scrubby junkie. That's all I've been doing is making scrubbies. And literally I just got back into some of my other whips, but it was really, really sad. And so my question is, and you guys can leave your feelings about this part in the comments, because I really am, I'm really interested in knowing how you guys feel, because y'all do understand that that now leaves us down to Michael's and Hobby Lobby. Besides online shopping, I'm not talking about online. I'm talking about where you could go in outside of the mom and dad local yarn shops, right? And then, go. Because we all know that Joann's, out of the three, had the best sales. Michael's, their sales are booty. Like, that don't really be on sale. I don't know. And then Hobby Lobby, we know that theirs is like clockwork. It's like every other week is 30% off. They don't steer from that. They stay, when their yarns on sale, it's just 30% off. The only time that you're going to make like some big impact with Hobby Lobby is what? When they have the clearance sale. You literally get a skein that's $4.99 and you might actually come out with like $1.24 for the skein, and that's like what, twice a year when the seasons are changing and they're changing their seasonal yarns. That's what we have, folks. Oh, and I know if y'all saying, well, Cheyenne, there's Walmart. First of all, I don't shop at Walmart. I hate Walmart because I hate dealing with the crazy people in there. And if y'all saying, well, Cheyenne, I'm one of them crazy people, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the weirdos. Anyway, yeah, we are down to two, folks. Two, because what everybody has to understand is that a lot of people, right, are already on fixed incomes. So there are a lot of people, young and old, who don't shop online for the yarn, shop online for their yarn. For one, they're scared of putting their credit card information in, and number two, they're old school. They're like me. They want to feel the yarn. You want to touch it, because what you see on the internet, and especially with AI, they can enhance the colors. You don't know the texture. It can look soft and you get it and it feel like concrete or sandpaper. You know what I mean? So that's what we're down to. And my question to you guys is, did we do this to ourselves? And when I say that, meaning like, poor Joann's. Joann's has been around forever. Like, forget about the yarn. Where are the people that like this, sew? Where are they going to get their fabric from? I'm talking about really good fabric, for good deals. COVID changed a lot. And when we came out of the pandemic, when we all came out of lockdown, yeah, there were a lot of stores that stayed. Everybody kind of stayed with, hey, do you want to do like the curbside pickup? You can just have stuff delivered to you. Did we as a society do this? Did we help Joann's along, all of a sudden, just cave in to not one, but two bankruptcies within a year? Michael's is on the verge of it too, but they got saved. And I had talked to a manager at Joann's, one of the Joann's here in Texas, and he gave me some secret information. This is before it officially happened. They were all holding out because if you guys remember, Big Lots was supposed to be shut down, all of it, but a company saved Big Lots. And what Joann's was waiting for, if you guys did not know, this company that saved Big Lots was actually looking to save Joann's. And how it would have worked out is if they had came to a deal, they would have saved Joann's, but because they had just saved Big Lots, they would have still had to shut down half of the Big Lots so that they could accommodate and save some of the Joann's. And let me tell y'all something. I knew about that information back in January, and I know I didn't post it. I was praying that it was going to go through, and in the end, it didn't go through. And it was sad. It was sad. And I bumped into another woman and her partner, and they were crying in the store. I know it sounds corny to some people, but I think you guys know because it was so, it's so sad. And I'm still getting the emails, saying, hey, we've marked it down even further. And at some point, there will be no more emails. Like, you know how sad this situation is. It's bad. When I asked the managers, I was just like, okay, well, a lot of stores have shut down in the past couple of years, but you guys are going to go online, right? He was just like, nope, it's that bad. They can't even do Joann's online. That's bad. So now, here's my other question. My question is, what happens to the yarn, so the distributors? So Yarnspirations, right, with their Caron, not the latte cakes, because Michael's pretty much has Caron latte cakes. Them and Walmart got that on lockdown. But the Caron, the blanket yarn, like, and the Bernats and all that that's on the Yarnspirations, right? Yeah, you can still find it, but Joann's was the main hub for that. So where are they going to ship that? And will they then get new contracts? Will they reach out to Michael's and say, hey, we need y'all to be the carrier? Will they extend, more features to Walmart? Like, my whole entire thing. Or will Yarnspirations be like, hey, we're just going to stick to one line? Because Yarnspirations was one of the biggest thing, and Joann had their own brand, which is Big Twist. So what happens to that? Do they just come out of production, or do they just be like, okay, you found us on Amazon or something like that? Because Hobby Lobby has their own brand, which is I Love This Yarn and Yarn Bee, and then with their scrubby yarn, like that cotton yarn, I think is secret crafters or soft crafters. Y'all know what I'm talking about if you go to Hobby Lobby, right? They pretty much, and Hobby Lobby's kind of, I love Hobby Lobby, but they're kind of stuck up. So they're going to stick with their own thing. They like, hey, we're doing good, whatever, they barely sell any yarn. I don't know what the hell they do. But then Michael's, they have their own brand called Loops and Threads. So, they put a little everybody, but yeah, how's this even going to play out, man? How is it going to play out? I don't know. Y'all gotta comment on this. If y'all don't comment on any other foolishness y'all done heard come out of my mouth tonight, please comment on what do y'all think about this. And did you go to Joann's? Did you get emotional like I did? I mean, even if you had to hurry and run back to your car and just bust out crying or whatever, like, and like I said, that's it. That's all I'm going to buy from them. It was too painful. It's too painful to go back. And not to mention, of course, I know I don't need yarn, but I had to go and see it with my own eyes. And I was just like, Cheyenne, get this. And this is actually the last time that I purchased yarn, when it first started happening. And it's just sad. It's the end of an era, and it's horrible. And you know what? The only thing I can pray for is that some up and coming new, I don't know, yarn store, chain of yarn stores, like, it's just so sad. Yeah. So anyway, like I said, I'm still crocheting. I have quite a bit. Now here's the kicker, y'all. Outside of this video, I literally have enough content for 9 videos right now, like just to pop out. But again, I have to make sure I get some energy so I can go ahead and edit the video. See, I don't have to edit this. I'm just, as soon as I stop this, boom, I'm uploading it. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I am working on another Caron latte blanket. It's for a friend. There's other features that I have. And guess what? Hopefully, don't count me to it. So you know what? I'm not even going to say what date. But I did not forget my dear friend, Barbara. Her birthday was February 23rd. I felt so bad because I was working so much, and I was, before I got COVID, I was up and down sick. And so I did reach out to her husband, and I was just like, when her birthday, I called him, checked on him, we chat, text. And then I apologized because I was just like, I just haven't had time to record. And you guys know for her birthday, I do the pink giveaway. So the pink giveaway will still happen. I've had the supplies to do the giveaway. I've always prepared for the pink giveaway. If I don't do anything else with the Pinky Promise, I always have the pink giveaway. And he is so loving and understanding. He completely understood, because I was explaining to him, like, I just get so tired. Like, I don't even know, like, I think I got an eye booger, and y'all probably been looking at it forever because I'm still taking eye drops for the cornea transplant. Sorry. Excuse me. It's pretty gross. But anyway, do I have an eye booger? Okay, no. Anyway, so he completely understand, and he was just like, you know what? if you feel like you've outgrown it, it's okay. And, I have to confess, a large part of this channel continuing is really behind the spirit of Barb. It really is. And I think he might have said that. He didn't say it verbatim, but I felt like he was trying to say, Shania, it's okay. Like, if you're tired of doing it, you want to do something else, it's okay. Sometimes you don't want to record. I think he was kind of giving me his blessing. Like, if you feel like you want to stop, or if you've been doing this because of my Barbara, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I felt like he was saying. And I know he's still subscribed to my channel. Barb's daughters are still, I think, are still subscribed to this channel amongst some other friends of hers. And if you are watching, please understand, I never intend. I know when I did that video, I was just like, every month I'm putting out a pink creation, and I really was trying to keep true to that. I apologize because I feel like I should never have promised that. I was very emotional, but I still, at least the one thing that I can do it, even if it's one creation. And actually, I'm looking at the pink creation that y'all, I can't wait for y'all to see it. But anyway, the Pinky giveaway, which is on Barb's birthday. So it will be a belated birthday celebration. You guys are going to love what's in this giveaway because it's nothing that y'all was expecting. That's all I got to say about that. Yeah. So with that said, what time is it? Oh, I gotta go, y'all, because it's getting dark. Look, I'm looking outside the window. I still gotta eat. I'm going to eat a bowl of cereal, and then I gotta get my clothes ready for tomorrow. I just wanted to show my face so that y'all can see I am alive. The hills are alive. I hate that movie. Never seen it. I shouldn't even say I hate it. But anyway, I do have a lot of energy. You know why? Because I do 2 workouts 6 days a week. That's right, folks. Because I was just like, I need to get my lungs back after COVID. I can't believe I got the corona. I was so mad about that. Yeah, but God took care of me, and I'm here. I still am here. Thank you for all of you guys who were so patient. Thank you. Extra thanks to all my subscribers who was reaching out to me. They was just like, are you okay? I'm okay. I'm okay. Maybe not mentally, but I'm okay physically. And just, I hate to ask, but if y'all could continue to be a little bit more patient, I would appreciate it. To my new subscribers, is enough library back there. Even if you didn't subscribe because of the crocheting, there's other things, that you can do. And if you see any videos of Ruby, that was my pet rabbit. She is gone. Her anniversary, 1 year anniversary is coming up this Friday. I don't know if I'm going to be able to record anything. I don't know. I may break down, and she might inspire me to be like, no, keep going. So pretty sure it was something else I could say, but I got plenty to say, and I can just save it for later. So yeah, we're already at 53 minutes. So that's it, folks. Leave a comment. Talk about Joann's. Did you ever get COVID because somebody's caroling us? Let me know. Did y'all have new grandchildren? I hope all y'all well. Did y'all, what else did y'all do? Yeah, did you know about the clove oil with the fish and all that kind of? You ever borrow your fish? Yeah, tell me all about it. Until next time, folks, I'm signing off. Bye-bye. Oh, yeah, and thank you for all the new subscribers. A lot of you have subscribed because you have come forth and you have seen the videos when I first started this channel and I was talking about arthritis. If you're like, wait, how is she still crocheting? Yes, I still have arthritis. Yes, I still suffer from cervical stenosis, but it's probably time for me to kind of update my subscribers who subscribe specifically because they have some type of disability in their hands, because I want you to know that I am still working through my pain, and I want you to be encouraged. I did not forget about you guys as well, but thank you for subscribing. And if you subscribe because you saw some yarn video or whatever, look at the catalog. I will be back soon. All right? Okay. So happy Tuesday evening. I hope everyone is well. I will talk to you guys later. Bye bye.